Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Beyond Polite. Today's guest is Nathan Corr. In this episode, we're talking about Nathan's journey from the corporate world into a creative career. But this isn't just a conversation about leaving a job. It's about questioning who gets to design your life. It's about autonomy, identity, risk, ambition, and redefining success when you stop living by someone else's definition. Here's my conversation with Nathan. I love starting asking all my guests, how were you growing up as a kid? Like, what kind of kid were you?
That's a hard one. I feel like I forgot most of my childhood.
What? Okay, no, we're starting with trauma already. This is too deep.
I'll try to spare you the trauma.
Okay.
I grew up in a big family. I'm one of 7 children. I'm the oldest. In between me, there's 5 girls and one boy. So when I have children one day, I'm definitely going to be a girl dad. I prefer girls.
Yeah.
I'll probably say I was younger. I was more shy. But I kind of evolved out of that pretty quickly because my dad was a pastor for like 70 years of my life. So I always felt like I was performing for somebody, had to be speaking for somebody. So the shyness went away. I'm very, very used to talking to people. I prefer being around people, even to this day. Same Nathan is now. Like, I am an achiever. I like being active, I like being successful. So I thought I was going to the NBA when I was a kid. Picked up basketball when I was a baby Nathan, and literally played basketball from morning into night, just dribbling the ball up and down, learning how to dribble, learning how to shoot.
No, this is like so interesting. This could go everywhere because now I want to know, why are you not in the NBA?
I'm 5'9", so that answers that question.
Okay, we gotta get you big shoes. But, well, I'm excited to get into chatting about your transition from corporate and creative. But more specifically, I hope that this conversation is not just like chatting about, I think it's more than just quitting a job. But you said making that life decision to really kind of have control of your life and designing the life that you want for yourself, and about autonomy and identity and risk and what it takes to define success and all of that. First of all, what did you do when you say you were in the corporate world? What was your job?
Well, I started with school. I went to school for something completely different than what I'm actually doing. I supported myself in college by being in retail sales. I started doing retail sales when I was a kid. Like, there you go. I think I was 15 and I was doing sales. My dad's always in sales, so it's in the blood. I went to school to be a doctor. Thought I was going to be a physician, on the whole pre-med track, and worked my butt off in college, and just got burnt out and came to Nashville after finishing school, was going to get some more education, and decided I just needed a little bit of a break. So I went back to sales, and I've done all different types of sales. I've done retail, I've done insurance, financial. Last thing I did was software sales. I was selling a product business to business. So that's what I was doing last, working for a tech company here in Nashville.
How long were you in that world? How long were you working, like your 9-to-5 in corporations?
Yeah, I've worked in some form of sales since I was, like I said, since I was 16. It's been my main thing. It's been my 9-to-5. It's been how I paid my bills. It's been how I've built my little nest egg. Yeah, and I really enjoy it. It's kind of goes back to, like, you talking about childhood. When I like people, I like interacting with people, I like learning about people and talking to people. And I'm also a natural problem solver. So if I'm selling something, I want the service or the product to solve a problem for somebody and be a solution. So it's kind of a way for me to be a problem solver for people and help people get better.
I mean, you're full of surprises. Now you're telling me, MBA, doctor. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what you're going to throw off of me next. But was it successful when you were doing it? Were you enjoying it?
Yeah, like I said, I do enjoy sales. So everything I do, like I have to want to do it. I have to enjoy it. And there's
Yeah.
just a natural competitive side to me. So whether I'm
Mhm.
competing with a peer or whether I'm competing with my numbers from the previous year, like I'm always like trying to get to the next level. Like
Yeah.
ladder climbing is something that I really enjoy. Getting to know people, networking, something I really enjoy. Yeah, and I would say for the most part, for most of my resume, I've done that very, very successfully. The times
Yeah.
that I bumped my head, or didn't get what I wanted quick enough, like it definitely frustrated me. But for the
Mhm.
most part, it was just been an evolution of just learning and learning how to be better, learning how to sharpen my skill set. And, yeah, that's kind of what's keeping me interested and
Yeah.
intrigued in sales is selling something I like, selling something I think being a problem solver, and then just the competitive side of it as well.
Yeah. So, was there something that shifted at some point for you, like internally? Like, did you leave because you're like, okay, I'm miserable, or because you wanted something more out of life?
You're kind of learning like my head seems to be all over the place. Like I have so many different interests. Like I I started doing photography when I was 26. I was still in college.
Okay.
Um, and that was just a hobby. And then that eventually kind of turned into what it is now. We can talk about that later. But it's I think I've always had something innately where I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to be an
Mhm.
entrepreneur. And when I was younger, I didn't even know what that meant. I was just dreaming of a life where I set my schedule. I went after what I wanted to, whatever passions I was interested in, whatever I wanted to learn, whatever problem I was trying to solve, I would do that. And as I got older and I'm clocking in and clocking out, the whole 9 to 5 grind, I'm learning
Mm.
that I don't enjoy working for people. I can do it. I can
Preach,
do it.
brother. Preach,
But
brother.
yeah, I don't enjoy working for somebody. I don't enjoy making somebody else tons of money when I get a small
Mhm.
portion of that. And the older I got, the more I wanted to like take that risk and put my own money somewhere where I can build something, to put my time and sweat equity in something that I can build as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of where we're at right now, where I finally kind of taken a leap after years of over analyzing and not wanting to change my lifestyle to
Mhm.
build something that I think one day could be successful.
Yeah. And I just want to take a quick moment, like if we can just pause on like what you said, just becoming your own boss and like the 9 to 5, like just kind of not doing it for you, just for anyone who's listening. Cause like I know I've been there as a creative myself. There's some jobs that have been like could create frustration inside when you're not doing like the thing that you were maybe like that you were wired and designed. I don't know. I'm a big believer. I don't know about you. There's kinds of kinds. And like when you just try to fit yourself into something that you're not, that can become really frustrating, like within. I think for anyone listening, I just want to validate if you're feeling that like, this is not for me, hear that, listen to that, like that inner voice. There's people that do like routines, and there's people that do like that 9 to 5 and that like to have direction and a guide and a boss and like go home and like that's it, you know? And then there's other, which is fine. So I don't know. I just wanted to kind of take a moment. If anyone listening, I hope this stirs something of like, oh my gosh, I feel that way. And it's like, okay, yeah, this is for you. And like, I mean, we're not saying like go and quit your job, go crazy.
Maybe.
Well, maybe, but this is where we're going to go. Okay, this is perfect transition
Well, before
because,
you transition, it's interesting you made that point because that's something I have learned like over the
okay.
past few years where you're working with different personalities and
Mhm.
I'm like super gung ho about something and they're like,
Mm.
they don't get it. And I'm like, how do you not
Yes.
get this? Like, I see this. This just makes sense.
Yes,
And kind
yes,
of
yes,
going, I have a
yes.
friend who he just wants structure. He wants somebody to tell him what to do. He wants to go ahead and execute on that thing the best way he can. And
Yeah.
that would bore me. But everybody has their different skill sets. Everybody's wired differently. And that just
Yes.
made me realize that I'm wired in a way where I want to be a creator. I want to create opportunities for
Yes.
my friends who are like him to say, hey, I want to do this. And I'm like, great. I know you're a hard worker. Like,
Mhm.
let's go to war
Yeah.
versus he could never, because it's not something that
Mhm.
he's interested in being.
I feel like leaving a stable career sounds exciting. Like we're making it sound so like, yeah, no, like quit your job or whatever in hindsight. But was what was the hardest part, I guess, about making that decision? Was there a hard part for you?
I think a lot of different reasons why it took me a long time to make the leap. Like one was the identity piece. I kind of created multiple identities throughout my youth like at one point when in college, I was pursuing this MD career. And when I decided that wasn't the route I was going to go, big, huge identity shift. I was like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want to do. Then I decided
Mm,
I was going to go into sales. I'm going to be a badass sales guy. I'm going to make hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. And then
hmm
not that I don't want to do that. I still enjoy sales, but I knew always in the back of my head, I wanted to build something. I wanted to create something. And then when I was becoming successful in my new career or my new business, my new company, yeah, money was great. I'm enjoying like the lifestyle inflation and I'm kind of gradually pulling up. And I'm like, I don't want to go back down to like a college kid. I don't want to go back down and have to live in this
Yeah.
neighborhood. I like having this much money in my bank account. I
Yeah.
like being able to be aggressively throw a ton of money in my 401k. So
hmm
knowing that it's going to take time to build something and the money's not just going to happen, like that took me quite a bit of time to like make the jump. But I was
hmm
becoming more and more miserable because I wasn't enjoying the company that I was working with. I was having a hard time climbing the ladder at the time too, which kind of honestly made the transition easier because out of pure frustration, I decided to move companies. And in that time that I was looking for a new company, I decided to make the leap into myself and start building what I'm trying to build right now.
What are you doing right now? Like when you saying you're
What?
pursuing creative, what is Nathan
Yeah,
doing?
what am I doing right now? I'm still trying to define that. That's a hard question for me to answer, to be completely honest. People always want to say, who are you? What do you do? And I don't know what it is that I know what I'm trying to build. I don't know what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
As of right now, I am using my gifts of sales and using my gifts of creativity and trying to merge them into one. So I'm
Yeah.
building a media agency. Who
Okay.
trying to figure out who I'm helping right now. I'm helping everybody. That
Yeah.
problem solver is coming out. So I want to like really be specific of like who that person is and how we can help them. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of like activations and brand campaigns for different retailers and athletic companies.
Yeah.
I like being creative. So I've done like some sterile headshot type of things, but also like some really cool headshot things. My goal, I think this year is to create a media company that can help small startups and small businesses find
hmm
their ideal customer. And I'm going to do
Yeah.
that by creating creative visuals and using like meta ads and like a different skill sets that I have to help them,
Yeah.
their customer find them and their product or service.
Have you gotten to the point already where you see how your past skills and experiences and like maybe you were in sales for that long is connecting to what you're wanting to pursue and do right now?
Yeah, just like I was talking to my buddy the other day, and there's like a lot of people who are even more, they're a lot better, they have more experience or just more talented than I am when it comes to um just being behind a camera. They're really creative, they
Okay.
have great talent, but they don't know how to find customers. They have a hard
Right.
time finding customers. They don't know how to close customers. And because I have a plethora of years of selling experience, I know how to find customers. I know how to close customers. I know how to network well. And that's something I can teach some of my peers as well,
hmm
which is another opportunity as well. But that's definitely, it makes me very well rounded because you don't see
Yes.
oftentimes somebody who's really good at the sales world and really good at the creative world is very complete two different sides of the spectrum. And I happen to
Yes.
be good at both.
20 years, I better be on your boat in the south of France.
That'd be
So you
dope.
can be in mine. What am I talking about? Boy, we'll just be, our boats will be next to each other and we'll just be
In
like,
between Oprah's boat.
right here. Be like, hey girl, hey, how you doing? We're like, we're just gonna cross over. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. Okay, okay, let's stop. I'm getting so excited. Okay, but really quick on something that I just want to go back to or just expand a little bit more. I think just elaborate because as we were talking about, you left your corporate job, you're pursuing more creatively. And I think that can sound a little like polished at times, but I think every life change comes with some trade offs and, maybe doubts and risk and uncomfortable moments. So, my question for you is what did it cost you? Or what have you seen that it's cost you? I know you mentioned a little bit like before you were very financially stable. So, even not just financially, but have there been a change in identity, relationships, confidence, your ego, comfort, just with making this change in your life and taking this risk?
I think I was prepared for like the financial part of it, knowing that
Mhm.
money would not be coming in as fast as it was with my little cushy salary corporate job.
Mhm.
I was kind of ready for that. I did expect things to happen faster. I'm a very glass full person.
Mhm.
So I'm very positive and I'm not delusional. I wasn't like shocked when it didn't happen as fast as I wanted to happen, but I just always kind of go in with that mentality. So yeah, I had to pivot, I had to shift. I had to figure out some things just to make means work that weren't had nothing to do with what I was building, and everything to do with just
Mhm.
like putting food on my table, paying my rent. Um, I think my relationships are strong at this point with my family, my personal relationship with my girlfriend. That it I didn't have issues with that. I think in the past I could have, but right now
Mhm.
those people are like my biggest support system. I think the most shocking thing for me is it's just simple stuff, like stuff that I wasn't doing well before when it comes to just systems, even the way I just move throughout life. Like everybody complains about there's not enough time in the day.
Mhm.
And I had to figure out how to get enough sleep to do my training. I run, I'm in train for marathon. So to recover for all my trainings, and prioritize that part of my life, but also get up early enough to work and get everything done, find clients, things I don't enjoy doing. Like most salespeople don't
Yeah.
love being organized and putting all their information into the CRM. And that's some of that same stuff I had to do at my corporate job. I'm having to do for myself. And I'm not passing
Yeah.
it off to somebody else. I'm doing it for myself. So I had to be a lot more
Mhm.
organized. I'm not a type A person, I'm very type B for sure. So I'm
Love
having to
that.
sharpen skill sets that I don't
Yes.
either enjoy or I don't necessarily have right now. Just because I'm a one man band, and
Mhm.
it's what it requires. So it could be as simple as like getting up earlier or just being more organized, living in a clean environment, doing what I said when I said I was going to do it. I just wrote like
Yeah.
a Substack blog about how I planned to run 40 miles for my marathon training, and life happened. And then I pushed one day to another day, and I skipped another day. And then I found myself being miserable the entire week because of how many miles I had stacked up on the weekend. And I had to say
Mhm.
no to an opportunity that my friend came to me with. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm working on personally right now. It's just
Mhm.
making a plan and then executing on that plan. No excuses.
And that's really funny, kind of, well, so real, like what you were explaining, which kind of led me to the next thing I wanted to kind of bring up about is that, especially now with social media, I feel like people, like it's easy to romanticize and yeah, idolize creative freedom. And like when you see all these people like on social media, like I quit and now I'm a content digital creator and this is what I do. But it's like, what is the hard part that nobody's talking about? And you touched a little bit on this. Like you said, you're just like, I'm having to do some things that are stretching me and challenging me and like habits that I have to change for myself that you weren't having to do before. And especially, yeah, you're a 9 to 5. And again, it's sometimes it is a little miserable because it's just so much structure and creatives are not into that. But can you talk to me a little bit about that hard part of, yeah, I'm doing this and it is amazing? Cause like, again, we romanticize all this digital creation because it looks so polished and cute, but the behind the scenes, can you elaborate a little bit more on this is what it takes for me to be able to pursue this vision? Because I just want to speak on that. So not that people are like discouraged, but that they're like, yeah, this is going to take some time and hard work on your part since you're doing it all by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I could specifically about like when it comes to creating, like doing a creative project, um,
Mhm.
finding that, finding somebody to work with that I think I could help, that I think I can solve a problem for, that I can think could create a cool asset for. That can be tough in itself. Um, so that's step one. Like if I don't have a pipeline of people to speak to, I have to find those people and I have to figure out who those
Mhm.
people are. And if I happen to define that, I need to define like who exactly I'm looking to talk to
Mhm.
work with. And once that's done, I have to continue to reach out, and it's just the typical sales, like go for no until you hear a yes. That takes
Mm.
time and it takes persistence. And I don't have a salary to be like, oh, you make this much, and then when you close, you get this percent of the close. Like I eat what I kill. So that's
Yeah.
one big thing. And then once you take on a project, My weakness is over promising and sometimes under delivery because I get excited. I want to give them
Oh,
everything. And I have to sometimes just say, we agreed upon this. And instead of me trying to wow you with all this glitz and glamour, I'm just going to say this, I'm doing this for you because that's what we agreed to. And then if I have the time and the capacity to give you the extra glitz and glamour, I will. But I get excited sometimes and start telling them, I'm going to give you this too and give you that, and that, and that. And before you know it, I
mhm.
have 5 clients I'm trying to juggle and I've overpromised them all this stuff. And then they leave
Yeah.
disappointed because I couldn't execute in the way that I originally said. And originally that wasn't
Okay.
what we agreed on. I just gave them more. Um,
Yes.
so just making sure that things get done in a timely fashion, that I over deliver, but it's something that I do, on the back end versus like promising that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can make sure that things that clients that are priorities, things that are priorities get done first versus me trying to give somebody extra than they're paying for
Mhm.
as well.
And I think just to kind of piggyback on that, I just feel like, especially when you do come from a job, again, I know what you were doing, you're probably like very independent in yourself, but like when you do work for a company, a corporation, as there's other people, there's a backup in a sense. So that's why like talking about what's the part that nobody talks about or hard parts, it's like it is on you. You got to get organized, you got to get structured. So just finding kind of that balance, but you just kind of speaking on about it, which I hope will lead people, again, encouraging them of like, oh my gosh, what this guy is doing, like I can do it, but being prepared, like, hey, just be prepared, step
Yeah, it's
up to the
definitely, I
plate.
think it doesn't matter what you're pursuing. If you want it, if you're doing
Hmm.
something that's yours, that
Yes.
you are your boss, you report to yourself, like what
Mm,
energy and sweat equity you put into it are the results you're going to get. Like you have to be more structured, more disciplined, put more time and effort than you would into a 9 to 5 that you would clock in. And then you could
hmm.
potentially forget about it after you clock out.
Yeah.
You're going to oftentimes be going to bed thinking about, did I do this? Do I do this? Like how do like you have to be very, very over prepared. And especially when
Yeah.
you're doing a job like I'm doing right now, where it ebbs and flows. Like sometimes I am overwhelmed with the amount of projects and clients I'm working with. And there's other times when it's a desert out there. I can't find
Yeah.
anybody to work with, and learning to like budget my money in a sense where I can rely on the past projects I've worked on and still creating systems where I can find more people to work with in the future. Like all that on top of working on a project, it's a lot. It's a dance that is very
Yeah.
chaotic. So yeah, you have to be, if you're not organized, you're not type A, you need to figure out a way to make it easier on yourself where you can create those structures, you can create those systems that you can just like do what needs to be done here and there and check it off the list and go about your day. Um,
Yeah.
I found getting at my house is something that I have to do. Because
Hmm.
I even have an office here and it's great. I don't even use it because I get distracted when I'm in my home versus I can go
Yes.
to a co-working space and get a lot more work done than I would in my home.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
No, I love that. Just like knowing who you are, knowing your personality, and just, sharpening all of those skills. But I know you've mentioned, and I know we wanted to talk about autonomy because I know that was something that you mentioned to me that you're like approaching life with this like autonomy and designing a life, with more of that. What does autonomy mean to you, to Nathan?
for me, I want to be able to live my life in a way that I choose to live it. I don't want to have to ask for permission to go do something. Like if
Hmm.
will work 80 hours in a week, there's the work ethic is there, but I don't have to
Yeah.
ask my boss, hey, dad, can I go on vacation? Like, no, I don't want to do that.
No, not "Hey,
I
dad."
don't
No,
want to do
it's
that.
so crazy. Wait, Nathan, that's so insane because when you do have any kind of working for someone else, it is like it is your mom and dad. So you're like a grown adult and it's like, "Can I go to the dentist?" I don't wanna go to the dentist, but it's like, you gotta ask your boss. Oh my god,
Exactly.
that really sorry, dude, that really, like, it could close to home.
No,
Okay.
I feel like a
Okay,
lot
so
of people,
autonomy, not asking daddy for permission to go on
exactly.
using your PTO to
I
go.
mean, and oftentimes, like, it's just, I mean, I feel like everybody has experienced this in some form or fashion. Like, you work for a company, and you're looking at things and you're like, wow, like that can be done so much more efficiently. Or like, why am I even here in the office today? Because we're not doing anything. Like it's a waste of time for me to be here. Like you're just seeing holes. And just for the sake of
Yeah.
you being there, they're like, you have to be here. I was like, no, I could get way more work done at home, or I can go over here and hang out with this client and like get a cultivate relationship and like close the deal here versus me
Yeah.
looking at each other, acting like I'm emailing somebody. Um,
He
I
said,
feel like
I'm
everybody kind
pretend.
of feels
No,
that way. Even like in just,
100%.
I'm seeing a lot of people it's become more of a trend where we hate the 9 to 5, especially Gen Zs and some of the younger millennials. You're seeing a lot of people say what I'm saying right now. Like,
Yeah,
why
but
is
that's
that?
so brave. That is so brave. I think also that I'm like, is it generational? Because I've had a lot of talks with friends, again, like my own age, and I feel we're kind of similar. And it's, I don't know, I grew up like still in that generation of like, you work, like that's what it means to be successful, like working and showing up. So I do remember when I was in my 9 to 5, like, oh my gosh, I could be sick. I could be literally with COVID, and you would see me in that office. I don't know what it is, and now you're seeing these generations where literally they're like, no, mental health day. And I was like, wow, I needed a
Yeah.
lot of those, you know? And it's like,
I
they're just,
do
is it
think
bravery? Is it like they're just more brave, or nobody wants to work anymore? I don't know. I like
there
to
might be a
work,
little
but
bit
like,
of like the nobody wants to work thing. That just kind of happens as priority shifts with different up and coming generations. But I do
yeah.
think with like some of the younger generations, like I'll even put the millennial generations in there, which is you and I's generation. I think the story that we were told about how to become
Mm,
successful, we're not all seeing the fruits of that. Where you see some
yes.
people, they went to college and they worked their butt off and they're working a hard job, or they're working a lot of hours, or working multiple jobs, and they're still having a hard time making ends meet. You're seeing
Yes.
the average homeowner is, I think I looked at something yesterday, said it was close to 40 now, where a decade ago it was,
40%?
no, it's the average first time homeowner age is
Oh,
close to 40 now,
oh my gosh.
which is,
Okay.
yeah, it used to be it used to be in the mid 20s to like
Yeah.
early 30s. And it's continuing to go up and up. So everybody's having a
Yeah.
hard time like creating that life, that American dream that we all
Yes. Well,
dream of.
yeah, that we
And,
were like promised and envision, and that's why
mhm.
you are doing all these things for that.
And then you
Um,
see like, everybody, I see a lot, just interesting. I don't even know how I feel about it, but you see like a lot of kids who inspire to be influencers. Yeah, they're entrepreneurs in a sense, but they
mhm,
have that autonomy. They don't work
mhm.
for the man, more or less, but
Yeah.
um, it's kind of romanticized a little bit. Like a lot of that's hard work in itself, which is very different. And
Yeah.
not everybody can hit it big like that. Not everybody can make money like that.
Is it attainable? Like what you said, it's like, okay, it could be romanticizing, but I'm like, is it attainable to do all that in this day and age?
Yeah, I
I
think it is. I
guess.
mean, but I guess going back to, I think that's the question that everybody's trying to figure out is because what was set up like, great, go to college, get a good
Mhm.
degree, use that degree to build wealth and a good job, and then buy a home and then have children. Like that is not as easy as people once said it was. Then you can talk about people who work in industries like plumbing and people who are on
Mhm.
the power lines. Like they make crazy money, the trades. So
Yes.
there's definitely money to be out there in a nutritional sense, but it's an interesting way to look at things right now for sure.
It looks different. I think what you said, it looks different. And I'm glad. I just want to say, like, I'm glad that you touched on it and that you did bring it up, because I think it is part of this conversation of, yeah, like a lot of people who did all the things, like checked all the things, are not seeing the fruits of that. We can't buy a car. We can't, like we can't save up. We can't save up in our 401k. We can't do our Roth IRA. Like, do it's just crazy because it's so expensive. So I don't know, but that was just interesting. It's a validating point. Is there anything maybe that we haven't touched on that you would like to speak on about this journey?
I think the biggest, like I said before, the biggest thing that I'm learning, it's like there's a lot of, I'm seeing that the personal my personal growth is affecting the growth of my business. It's like
Mm,
those things that we kind of spoke on before when it comes to like just character and being disciplined and sharpening maybe skills that I don't currently have and being more organized. Me working on those interpersonal things are bleeding into easier success in my business as well. I'm trying to grow. And I think I'm
Yeah.
a Christian. And I think oftentimes you are supposed to have, there's a God-given talent or gift that you have, and you
Mm.
think that there's certain success tied to that,
Mhm.
but you can never get to it. And it's because the talent's not going to get you there. It's everything
Mhm.
else.
Mhm.
And sometimes God's just going to be like, until you work on this part, like, I'm not going to give you a ton of wealth if you don't know how to manage your money. You're just going to
Yes, I see.
squander it somewhere. So what's the
Yeah.
point of me letting you have access to that amount of money when you don't know how to, you don't know how to be disciplined with it.
Oof.
So
Oh my gosh.
I'm learning in different ways. Money's not it's not my qualm. I'm very good with money, but I'm learning in different ways that there's different things like that interpersonally that I have to work on. Um,
Yeah,
that's going
that's
to
good.
help push me personally and professionally to the next level.
That's good. That's good. And I love that you touched on success even with that. What's a belief about success that maybe you had 5 years ago that you no longer believe?
I think it's only changed in the aspect of like what it could potentially look like. Like I have so many different things that I am good at that I've become better at. That once were passions are now I be considered an expert in those things.
Yeah.
Um, it doesn't have to look like it looked when I was 18. When I was 18, when I was 25, I had like these very specific ideas of like what I wanted to do with the things that I was interested in, the things I was pursuing. And it doesn't have to look that way when I'm 40, when I'm 50.
Right.
I could even have
Okay.
some great success for 15, 20 plus years in a certain sector of life and then make a
Mhm.
complete and utter pivot when I'm 40. And
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. So I
Yeah.
guess the biggest thing is just being agile and learning that I don't have to be defined by an industry or a sector, and I can go whatever way I think is best for that time period of my life. I would consider that a failure of like looking at people who are years older than me
Mm.
and seeing them make such a pivot, and I would have judged them. I've been like, oh
Yeah. Ooh.
yeah, and now I'm making a similar decision, and I'm like, I feel good. I feel confident. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm making a right decision. I don't actually regret anything that I pursued in my youth either. I don't think it
Yeah.
was a waste of time.
That's good too. Even you said the judgment part, but I think judgment comes from you want that and you're just like, kind of bit like that person can do it and you're not doing what you want to do type of thing. Cause yeah, when I see people, it's like, oh, they do that. It's like, oh my gosh, how dare them? And it's like, no, like you wish you were brave enough and courageous enough to do the things, to show up, to, get in front of a camera, to do whatever, to go after their dreams. And I think that takes courage. So even changing that mindset for me and that perspective, I'm like, no, actually, that's courageous. Like that's brave and wanting more of that and being supportive and learning from that instead of just being judgy. Um, but my next question, I think, is just for anyone listening that maybe is like stuck in a job or it doesn't have to just be a job but like yeah just in this mindset of I don't know this isn't right for me or they have this like feeling and something stirring them up what advice would you give them to maybe motivate them to listen to that inner voice? What questions should they ask themselves before they make this big leap like you did?
Yeah. I think for me, like I knew for a fact that I didn't want to make this leap. It's something I'd been ruminating on for years and was too scared to make the jump. And when I finally decided to make the jump, the timing might have not been the best. Um, but I feel like for me, I needed that kick in the butt just to kind of jump out there and do it, even though like everything wasn't set up in the most perfect way, or else I
Yeah.
was going to fall back into analysis paralysis. So
Yeah.
if I knew myself well enough to, at that point, just take the leap. Hindsight, I would have waited a little bit longer, maybe built up a little bit more of a like emergency cushion, so I can have had a little
Yeah.
more of a longer runway. But I think I made the right decision. But yeah, think about that kind of stuff. Like first of all, like make sure this is what you want to do. Do your research. Um, don't go in with this attitude that it's all going to work out because it's probably not.
Mhm.
You're probably going to bump your
Mhm.
head unless you have like proven data that this is going to work as soon as you put all your energy into it. Um, it probably won't. And I think for most people, especially in my case, like I already had clients that I was working with prior to leaving. Um, but I think starting that way of like proven data, proven facts that this can work, this will work with some effort versus
Yeah.
putting all your eggs in one basket that potentially can get you in trouble.
Yeah.
I had emergency fund. I had financial plans kind of already lined up. I had an easy way back into corporate if I needed to as well. So those things I kind of have had and have implemented in case of
Yeah.
emergency.
Yeah.
Um, but I think the biggest thing is just kind of just knowing yourself and knowing whatever it is that you're interested in jumping into. If you don't know enough about it, like do your research, get in front of people, get in proximity of people who are doing it well, ask them all the questions. That's been
Yeah.
the biggest thing I've done. I've asked a lot of people who are seemingly more successful in what I'm doing right now, like how they
Hmm.
started, what issues they wrote up against, how they're finding clients, how to keep themselves afloat. Like some things that I was like, I don't know how to do this. How are you doing this? And I've gotten a lot of insight as to like how I need to move through life with what I'm pursuing based on what they've done as well.
Yeah, not to quote my queen Oprah once again, but she has no, it's just I've seen so many like videos because it's one of those things of like when you someone not like idolize, but it's like they're doing something way ahead of you. How did they get there? Because if
Mhm.
that's what you want, and she actually speaks about that. I think it was in one of her like little master class videos and stuff, and that's always stuck with me, but it's like look up to someone who's doing the thing that you want to do and they're already great at it. What steps did they do to get there? Like get their wisdom, like, and it is like association with the people that you surround yourself with, but it's like, yeah, definitely like who is someone that is doing the thing that I want to do? They're great. How can I ask for like, how can they mentor me?
Mhm.
Get that kind of role model into your life. So that's good. But just to kind of close us off, like let's go into the future Nathan without his $1 million. How do you see yourself? Like, what would make you actually feel if you were to look back in 10 years, like I designed my life the way I wanted to? Like, how do we see you? What are we envisioning?
Yeah, I want to be living in my I want to be doing things that make me money that I am passionate about. That's ultimately my
Yeah.
biggest thing. Creativity is one of them. Problem solving is another one. I love all things medicine, health and fitness. So I just want to create assets, services, products, and businesses around that. I would love to
Yeah.
have one or two successful businesses in one of those themes. And I would love to employ my friends and family and other people that I meet along the way who are just as passionate about those things. And
Yeah.
I want to be a person who can create opportunity for people who are looking for something that they are passionate about and want to figure
Yeah.
out how to make a living from it. That's what I want to create. So
Okay.
just being an Uber entrepreneur and the things that
Yeah.
I find interesting and fascinating and create an opportunity for other people to make money from those things I create.
Okay. Where do I submit my resume for my position
Nate the Great
as
150 at gmail.com.
You heard it here, people. Oh my gosh, now you're going to get just crazy girly submissions. Stop is taken. Stop. Only professional requests and your resumes, people, for his mogul entrepreneur life. Nate, I always love closing with this question just for fun, just to keep it light. But what is a hobby or something fun that you've been getting into lately? Literally just for fun. I know you're a big runner and marathons. That doesn't count. Something aside from that, a hobby.
With photography, I am embracing, I shoot 50% of my work on film and a lot of stuff that people want right now are just ways to showcase their product and service. And I want to create a lookbook or zine of some sort with with my film photography. So I haven't decided exactly what subject I'm going to be photographing, but I want to kind of brainstorm on an idea where it's 100% all film photography that I can make a zine, coffee table kind of book of my work.
Wait, are you saying zine? Wait, what is that
A
word?
zine or just a photo book.
Okay, I've never even heard of zine, like ZYN.
I think
We don't even know. You
I
making this
forget
up, boy.
I forget how it's spelled.
He's
um,
making it up, but we're all creating zine books this year. Love
zine.
it.
I forget how it's spelled. But yeah, it's just essentially a photo book of
Okay, wait, that's
yeah,
cute.
particular subject matter. Like
Okay.
one of my favorite photographers just made
Wait,
a
I feel
book.
like I need to hold on. Let's look this up because I don't want to be guiding anybody to zine. Let me see. If you're looking for resources, oh, this is not. This is not it. Literally, I put zine book like ZYN, and it's like, and then Google said, if you're looking for resources on quitting nicotine pouches like Zyn, check out.
Zen.
Yeah, let's not Google. We're good, but I believe in your photo book. I believe in your photo
Yeah.
book.
It'd be cool. I would love to publish some sort of a photography photo book with like one particular like subject in mind, whether it be like a landscape or a certain demographic of people, whatever.
That's cool.
I think it'd be cool.
I am just so thankful that you gave me the time to chat with you. I feel like now I got to know you like, a little bit deeper and more. And I can also just like support you in this journey. I feel like, us creatives got to support each other because we have crazy ideas that no one understands. So I believe it. And I will see you in the south of France in our boats next to Oprah. So
All
thank you,
right. See you
Nathan.
later, Latina Oprah.
See ya. Ciao.